Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is Richard Richardson. Yes, it's a great name. So Richard Richardson was already 71 years old when the American Revolution broke out. And he was living in South Carolina, and South Carolina had exiled their governor, their royal governor, to a ship off the coast. So they had control of the coast, but there were still a lot of loyalists inland in the backcountry. So they put together an expedition to get rid of them. Who did they put in charge of this expedition? Well, today's founder, Richard Richardson, who I said was already 71 years old, but he was still sent with 1,000 men out to the backcountry. And along the way, he was joined by not only several other regiments, but by patriots who were living in the countryside, who were surrounded by loyalists and were eager to see them arrive and jump in to help. Now, there were a few skirmishes along the way, but the most important battle was the Battle of Great Cane Brake, where there were about 500 loyalists were destroyed, more or less, by these Patriot Forces, although most of them weren't killed, most of them were simply captured and brought back to Charleston. Now, what's extremely interesting about this is the Richardson campaign ended up becoming called the Snow Campaign because in South Carolina, a snowstorm broke out, and this is in November of 1776. I don't know if you know a lot about South Carolina, but there's not usually snowstorms down there. This was such an odd feat that's why many people started calling it the Snow Campaign. And most of the soldiers left and went home, although enough stayed around to make sure that the prisoners taken got to Charleston as prisoners. Though, in an attempt to ease tensions on the frontier, those prisoners were released pretty much right away. Now, Richard Richardson would stay with the Continental Army, and by this point he had been appointed as a brigadier general in the South Carolina militia. And he would stay with the militia, not the Continental Army, the South Carolina militia, until the siege of Charleston, where he was one of the many people who tried to defend that city and were taken prisoner. Although he was very early on, now 74 years old and starting to get a little sick, he was released well before most of the other people. Most of the people who captured at Charleston were brought to St. Augustine, Florida, and kept for about a year. But he was put in prison and kind of released right away, basically being sent home to die, which he did just a few months later. But that is the story of Richard Richardson and the Snow Campaign. I sure hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely hit like. Remember to subscribe. If you wanted to share this, that would be a big help. People tell me that telling people to share your videos usually works to get more people watching. So if you want to do that, that would be great. Thank you again so much, and I'll be back to you with another Founder on Monday.